Hi, it's John here from Salon, coming to you with some pro tips and a quick how-to to make the most out of a successful retouch at home. These times are a little bit crazy, so it's going to call for some desperate measures when it comes to maintaining, managing the gray that's been coming out of your head that you didn't even know was happening because we've been taking care of it for you. So here we are. We've got our lovely dolly here, and I'm going to walk you through on how to apply that color according to the step-by-steps to keep it easy for yourself. The first thing you're going to do, especially let's say you have somebody at home that's going to help you out with this. I'll be that other person. This will be the person receiving the color. I want to make sure that they know how to apply the color to your head to be successful and then not get blamed for any splotches, streaks, or unsightly kind of business with the color. So keep it simple. The first thing you're going to want to do is gather the tools that you need, some combs, clips, gloves, the product which has already been mixed, and we're going to start our application. The first thing you want to do to make sure that you can work quickly, because that will be a big part of a successful root retouch, is to comb through the hair. Get all of the tangles that you possibly can out of the hair so that it's silky, it's smooth, and it's not going to clump up while you're trying to do the application. The second thing you're going to do is to find the center part and create some simple quads to apply your retouch. Taking your comb and placing your finger behind the person's ear, you're going to comb through and magically find and create a vertical section. So this will be the easiest way to create sections in your hair. Take a clip and pull that hair back. I'm going to repeat it one more time on the other side. So once again, placing your finger behind the person's ear, placing your comb at the top to match where you've done your first section, and then just take that comb and go down. Your comb will always come to the tip of your finger. You don't have to worry about it. The line does not have to be even. It will be even because I'm doing it, but it doesn't have to be even if you're doing it at home. It needs to be put into some sections so that you can easily work through for the retouch. So once again, once you've got that clipped out of the way, you'll take the back, make a nice little ponytail, and clip that out. You now have 2 of your 4 quads, right? So 1, 2. The next step you're going to want to do before applying any color to the hair is you're going to want to make sure that you protect the skin. We're going to put a little bit, or I'm going to act as if I'm putting some protectant around the skin to show you what that means. It's going to keep your color from becoming your hairline all the way down to your eyebrow line. So you're going to want to take the product and apply it up to the hairline and just wipe all the way around and around the ears. What you don't want to do is wipe the protectant into the hair, because what will happen when you do that is you will create a buffer between the color and your hair, and you could end up with some uncovered hair. That is a pro tip, and that's coming from me to you with a whole bunch of love. So once again, make sure that you're applying the protectant around and to the skin around the hairline, but not over and above it. Next step will be to start your application. I'm going to work through the top first 2 quadrants, and I'm going to have you just repeat those same steps for the back. A couple of things that I like to do when I'm doing a root retouch is to go ahead, even though we've combed through, make sure that that section is again detangled. I'm going to clip it away and I put my gloves on. And then get to applying. So you're going to want to start at the hairline and through the center part. Taking the color, you're going to want to lightly put that color towards the root. Now, when you're doing this, your goal should be to connect the regrowth at the scalp to the hair that's been colored previously. And the way you're going to get a really nice blend, this is another pro tip, is when you apply Don't have a heavy hand all the way through it. Have a heavy hand at the scalp, but then just kind of flick through. You can see how it kind of blends. Anybody who's been obsessed the last couple of weeks, as we all have with YouTube videos, maybe you've been watching some makeup tutorials, this is how you create a blend. It's so that you don't end up looking with, or looking like you have go faster stripes with your contour and blush. So I'm gonna outline this section, pulling the hair up and away from the face. Make sure, another pro tip, when you're starting to work around the hairline, take all of the excess product off so that you have a cleaner brush. Then go in and take the amount that you need for the hairline. If you go in with a brush that has a lot of product on it and you go in around the hairline, you could create more problems than you need. So, minimal amount, and then apply it to the hairline. Once again, I'm applying to the root and I'm flicking off to create a blend. Oops, I just colored my friend's face. What do? Stop, pull that away, and then just simply wipe it away. What you'll find, because you've prepped the skin with the protectant, is it'll be easy to correct any of those. Next step that we recommend is to work horizontally from the top to the bottom. Taking each section, applying your color, and moving towards the bottom. Pro tip from me to you that I find works really well is to take that same quadrant, but to work in diagonal sections. Starting at the top again, but working diagonally through instead of horizontal. Applying that color, you can see where you need to go. Take a little more product and apply. Once again, I'm using a little bit more weight towards the scalp and then lightening my pressure as I get close to where the regrowth ends and your former hair color begins. Working in this manner, I find works a little bit better, especially if you're a layperson and haven't put color on someone's head before, so that you're not putting a bunch of color on their skin. Working horizontally is fine. I'm gonna always suggest, once again, pro tip, to start in the front and work to the back, because if you are a layperson and haven't put color on, you may run out of product, and it's going to be better to run out of product in the back than it is in the front. So make sure that you're using enough color to blend that in, but not so much that you've got a lot of product condensed in one area. Taking the tip of my comb, diagonal back once again. You can see that we're getting towards the hairline. So I'm going to minimize my pull through. You want to connect the two lines, but if you pull through too much in the front, you may inadvertently end up with a dark patch in the front that might make you feel less than fresh. So, once again, diagonal back. We've got our section. Apply to the root. Both sides. And pull that away. Now Dolly here has some highlights, and a lot of clients have highlights as well. So something that I like to do when I get to the front is to make sure that I'm covering only what I need to cover and not much more, so that we're not minimizing or going over those highlights. Diagonal back, once again, I'm going to turn her head. And you can see, for those who may be doing the application, I'm keeping control of the hair by keeping it in my hand. I'm not putting it up and then trying to put color on, because this is going to get kind of loose, go all over the place, and it could get messy. All right, before we switch to the next section, make sure that you take a look at what you've already done. I've given her a second set of eyebrows, so I want to make sure that I get that off. You can use a paper towel, you can use an old towel to kind of remove that. I'm using my fingers and then waste not, want not, putting it right back into the bowl. And that way we minimize some of the fallout from the color application. All right, so we're at a point where, let's say I've done all of my application at the root. We're now going to do some pro tips, things that you can do to make this look the best without overthinking it. So something that I like to do when I'm doing just retouches, especially with clients that have highlights, is once the entire application is done, and because you've been working clean and you've kept things kind of all in the same area, you're gonna comb through one more time. And then a pro tip that you can do to take larger sections. Once again, taking that off. My dummy color is running. Anyway, so pro tip that you can do to create a nice blend is to take a wide tooth comb. Some people may go towards a comb like this. If you're gonna use a comb like this, do not use this side. Use this side. Use a wider tooth. It's going to give you more air for success. Just simply take the comb, quick. It's just a flick. You're not going in through there and raking over the color. What you're doing, once again, if we can use that analogy with makeup, is we're creating a blend from the highlight to the contour to the base color. So what this is going to do is create a blend from what you've put on to what you had previously. And that, my friends, is going to be a happy place, because what we don't want to have happen is to create another root just with a different color. So once again, take that section, flick through, flick through. Now you're probably asking yourself, John, what if I don't want to do this? This is too much. It's totally fine. You can leave it alone and it will look good. We are going to do our best to create the closest match to what we usually do for you in the salon. This is just a way in which I know you can get a little more detail. And like you can see, it's just the slightest of movements, but I'm telling you, this is kind of the mint on the pillow as far as I'm concerned, where you're doing base colors only on a client to create a blend from this out to this.